Fresh ragu meat. I mean, I hope not. I hope you don't, you know.
This is the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. This week, we'll talk about the PvP update, Star Wars Celebration news, and we'll go ahead and check back in on our Sork class stories. This astromech is EPC 245. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Hey, Max. Oh, it's going pretty well. We just finished up MFN because it's Tuesday night, and we ran Terror from Beyond, which we did a great job of getting all the way to the end, which sometimes we waste time and it takes us a while to get started, and we end up, killing Cephas, and that's the end of the evening. But this time we got it all the way to the end, which is great for Conquest. And speaking of Conquest, oh my gosh, last week was Conquest Palooza around here. I mean,
Yeah.
we decided that we were going to go for large on the imp side and medium on the pub side. I think I personally, and I know lots of people did a lot more, but I think I ended up at last tally was 4 characters to goal on the imp side and 4 characters on the pub side. That's a lot of Conquest for me. And so this week we're having much more conservative targets, so a little bit of a rest after last week. But we did make our large target, and we did make our medium target. So that was a lot of Conquest. So a lot of mats coming home to people this week, so that's good. So I don't remember what we did in our raid last week, but we did something. We did some ops, and we did some Conquest or something, Conquest or ops.
I was out.
Mostly we did Conquest.
Yeah.
So many rampages. I killed so many Killicks.
Yeah.
And Rackles. And so many Rackles jumped on my face and stunned me. I just hate that move. That's my least favorite move of any mob in any game.
You're
And there's one
right.
in every game that does it.
Yes, and there's quite a few that do it in Star Wars, and quite a few places where every pull, every fight, you've got those mobs that are jumping on you and stunning.
I mean, I even was trying to do things like send my companion to attack the Rackle first, so that, but they would still jump on my face.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
It is.
But yeah, so how was your week, Max?
My week was also good. I had a crazy work week. That's why we skipped the podcast, for one. For two, I was also out for the second half of the week. But even with that, I think I got 4 characters or 5 to Conquest target. I think it was 3 on the two to 3 on the Imperial side and 2 on the Republic side. It was amazing. It was an amazing effort. I do a thing with our guild, AIE, Alea Yacht Est, now on Sunday nights. Because our guild spans so many games, I'm doing this thing on Sunday nights where I rotate through all the games that we play. And I pick a game and I stream it from 8 to 10 p.m. Central on Sunday nights on twitch.tv/AIE Guild. No, this is not an ad, but maybe it is. Anyway, this week, I had not done...
It's not an ad, it's just... letting people know in case you're wondering.
In case you're wondering and would like to join. But that's not all. You can also see us, like this past Sunday, we did Star Wars. Because Star Wars is one of our games, and I hadn't done Star Wars in probably a month. So I went back to Star Wars, and we took it as an opportunity because we had this huge challenge of doing large on the Imperial side and medium on the Republic side. We had made our Imperial side goal. We had hit that 1.1 million conquest points by about Friday. We said, okay, we'll try to take some time on the weekend and we'll see what we can do on the Republic side. So we were at about 385 of 550 by Sunday afternoon. So I said, fine, we're going into Star Wars anyway. I'll try to get a pickup group together. We'll try to just do some stuff on this fun side stream, show people what AIE in SWTOR looks like. And in the process of doing that, we did enough to hit our medium goal as well. We had a bunch of people that joined in, got more targets, more characters to their targets, and cranked out enough points to push us over the edge there. So,
yeah, I mean, it's your fault that I did that 4th character on the pub side because I logged in late at the end of the evening, and you guys were still going, so I joined in, and that's when we found the world boss, and then so I had a new character with 5,000 points from the world boss, and I'm like, oh my gosh, now I gotta go do some rampages in the morning. So Monday morning I did the rampages and the heroics, and that was enough to get that character over the top too.
I tricked you into having fun and playing the game.
Yes, you did.
We had multiple people in the guild. So Zen, who's in the chat room right now, one of our champions of conquest on the Republic side especially, he had 9 characters to goal on the pub side and 3 more on the imp side. So
incredible.
That's an amazing feat, especially in the new structure where it's difficult to do that with the characters these days. So great work, great job. That's super fun. So that's us, and that's that. That's what we've been doing. Let's get into a little bit of news, because that's been happening too.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
The bulk of the news right now is around the announcement of the changes that are coming in summer, and the first round of changes that's going to be coming are all about PvP. So there's been 2 posts in the last week and a half about Warzone changes, Part 1 and Part 2. So in Warzone changes Part 1, they described one set of changes, which was mostly focused around their core goal of saying, hey, let's take what's going on in these war zones and let's tighten it up a little bit. Let's make it so the war zone matches don't last that long. Let's target it around 12 minutes for how long they should last. And let's make some minor tweaks. Let's pull a couple little levers on each one of the war zones so that they don't drag on and they don't get into these weird stalemates where nobody can get past the first objective. Nobody can cap a node, which is often what would happen, especially when you had good teams playing each other. You'd get to Void Star and nobody would be able to plant a bomb on the first door. So then the war zone would go to its full 15 minutes with no one ever getting through the first door. And each side, it would basically just be a stalemate, and whoever got the most kills would win. So they're going to do things like in Void Star, they're going to crank it back from 8 seconds to plant a bomb on the door to 6 seconds. They're going to also do a couple things to prevent people from some of the slightly rule-breaking or objective-breaking activities that were legal in the game, but against the spirit of what they were trying to do, like being able to jump the gap after the bridges, even before the bridges are down, and start planting bombs because you had a juggernaut and you were able to or a marauder and you were able to leap across and take advantage of someone standing too close to the edge. And then you plant a bomb on that door and you plant a bomb on the end door, and half the people in the whole war zone haven't even progressed past those bridges, and everything's really weird. So they're going to stop some of those kinds of things. They're also going to be fixing the things where people are able to hack and get into weird places that they shouldn't be able to do, and make it so people, if they do get into those kinds of places, they do things like die, which is good as well. So there's a nice post up there which explains that, gives additional examples for each one of the other 3 of the other war zones of how they're going to tighten it up a little bit. So you can go and check that out. And then there's a set of commentary, which Seema will talk about in a second, in the forums where people are commenting whether they like this or not. And surprise, surprise, I think Seema pushed for this trend. We're getting some very nice commentary happening. Some positive words of encouragement. In the second,
yeah, we are. Don't turn the page though. I mean, I only read the first page.
only read to the bottom of the first page. I'm sure someone in there is saying, "You're terrible. Does anyone even play this game anymore?" I'm sure that's
Right.
going to come up. When are you going to give pets machine guns? Why are you so terrible? I'm sure that's in there. The part 2 of that post also went in today. So this is, at the time of this recording, it is Tuesday, June 5th. So on Tuesday, June 5th at 1 p.m. forums time, which I don't even know what that is. I don't know what time zone this forums time post is. But anyway, part 2 went in and they talked about another set of changes, sort of the part 2 of that post, which was a couple tweaks to Hutball and a couple tweaks to arenas. Arenas, they're just going to tighten that up a little bit and make it sure that people can't hack their way into places that they shouldn't be or stand in weird places. And they're tuning up the way the acid works at the end. Now, you don't often get to this stage, but if you're in a stalemate and you still have people alive and the round goes to its full time limit, then a pool of acid starts on the outer rims of the little arena where you're doing your 4v4 battle, and slowly constricts and constricts more and more until it gets to the middle. While that is happening,
Is the acid only in arena? The
Yes.
war zones don't end that way?
yes,
Oh,
only in
okay.
the arenas for it's designed to sort of end the arena when it's a stalemate, because there's no objectives in those. It's
Right.
just a 4v4 battle.
Oh, right.
So people, you could have stealth characters on both sides just hiding, and that's not very fair.
I mean,
or
they
fun.
could just have it say it's over now, but instead they decided to burn you with acid.
Right. Well, I mean, if you had 4 players on each side and all 4 were stealth players and you stealth from the beginning, then you can't. It's a perfect tie. There's no way they could do a tiebreaker. They can't really call it over. So the acid, it kicks you out of stealth for one. For two, it starts to tick damage on you and reduce the healing that's possible.
Well, I mean,
And people start dying.
the acid starts at a certain time, right?
Yes. And
Well, I mean, at that time they could just say, okay, it's over.
But then, well, they can't just say it's over, because then people start to die. And then you have to, then someone will be the last to die at that point, and that person's the winner.
No, I realize that. I'm just saying, instead of the acid mechanic, they could just say, yeah, you timed out.
But then it would,
Nobody wins.
But then it would, well, yeah, okay, yeah, but then it would be a tie, and that doesn't work for there's no sort of scoring that says you finished a match in a tie. So they'd have to add a system to count tie or discount ties or not counted, or
the game just wouldn't count at all. Yeah.
it would be weird. But anyway, so this is to force a sudden death, basically, with the acid. So they're tuning that up a little bit. The slightly more interesting changes to Hutball, where they're making it so while you're carrying the Hutball, they're applying a new effect called Hinder, which means you can't sprint around. You can't use any of your force speed abilities. You can't use hold the line if you're a vanguard, and basically
No
just
scamper.
be able to run, unlimited running through all of the objectives, unable for anyone to stop you, which just gets sort of frustrating for the other team. So that'll add a little bit more need for strategy and team play in Hutball. You won't just have a couple vanguards standing on the top by the end zone. You toss it to them, and they just, unhindered run all the way to the end. So that's cool. I like that. That should be interesting. We'll see how there's with all of these kinds of changes, you have to be worried about unintended consequences. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But they're asking for a lot of feedback. They're having a lot of discussion. Go ahead and jump in on these threads. Put your thoughts in, how you think it might work, any problems with it that you might see with any of these changes, and we'll see we'll see how they respond. What else, Seema? What other kind of changes?
So they also made a post about how they're tuning up how they do matchmaking. And first of all, they announced this a while back, but they're going to make the queuing cross faction, so that'll make a bigger, more heterogeneous population to queue from in the first place. They're also going to, in the queue, prioritize war zones over arenas in priority, which I like the sound of that, because even though I don't PvP, I hear people saying that they would queue more, but they don't want to do an arena, and they always get arenas, and arenas aren't as fun. So this sounds like they were listening. They're also going to do some role balancing, meaning that they're going to try and end up with, not a team of 4 healers against a team of 4 DPS. Instead, they would try to make that 2 healers and 2 DPS on each team, or if everybody queuing were tanks and healers, they would mix them up on the teams instead of all the tanks ending up on one team and all the healers on another, which also sounds like something people have been asking for. And then they're also doing skill balancing, which just seems like, how would they know to me? But I guess they're going by rating.
Sorry, Kim.
Try to
Shut up, Kimbo.
get the higher rated people to play against other high rated people.
Yeah.
Which sounds good. I don't know how well that would work.
Yeah, there's a couple
Um,
follow-up posts. That's something to research in the forums too, if you're interested in that, where they don't explain it in all that much detail, but they talk about this kind of rating thing. It's not exactly equal to your ranked rating, but there is a rating behind the scenes, and that's sort of what they're using to stack people against each other. So,
right, because not everybody plays ranked, right? So you wouldn't even have a rank.
right, exactly. So,
Well, one thing about this post I like, and I've criticized before for not having this, but they said what their goals were for making these changes. Even though it's very simply put, they said that their goal in doing these tweaks to the matchmaking is for the for more games to pop more often and for them to be more fun when they do pop. So, sounds like a good goal to me.
absolutely. So, and then what did you find, Seema, when you sort of read down the first page of commentary on the forums back and forth?
Oh, well, I mean, it was people saying, I love these changes. Sounds good. And one person just put yes with like a million S's in all caps. So it was enthusiasm for the changes and yeah, happiness.
So that's
I
interesting.
thought I was reading something else for a while there, not the SWTOR official forums.
Right. Maybe we should go check Reddit. Maybe that can hopefully we still have some wretched hive of scum and villainy to entertain us.
I mean, I think this is kind of meta, but everything in life goes in cycles. And I've been saying for a while now that it's time for internet behavior to start. It's been like way to this one side of the pendulum of like meanie guts behavior. And it's maybe starting to swing back to the other side.
I have not heard you espouse that theory, and that's interesting. I like it. Your ideas intrigue me. I would like to subscribe to your newsletter. One other thing in the news, at least one more thing in the news. We did have over the weekend a very short event that popped up that sort of surprised us and only lasted for 2 days or 3 days over the weekend, which was weird because it didn't work how they said it would work. But supposedly, if you did 3 group content things, you hit Control G and you go to group and you find the things in there. If you did 3 of those, you met the requirements to get this pet. And what would happen is, and they did this in an interesting way this round, is you got the pet, you got an achievement, and you got the pet granted to you immediately. Now, we got a little group together and we figured, okay, we'll do 3 of these. We'll try to do something about what we said.
And unlucky for us, I was the one queuing.
So we made Seema the group leader. Step 1, make Seema the group leader. Step 2 is say, let's do something quick and easy. And step 3, have Seema click master mode, queue us up, and get Lost Island master. Basically, the hardest
so we did
thing
a quick and easy run of
in the
master
game.
mode, Lost Island.
The hardest flashpoint in the game. So that's what we ended up. But fine, so fine because we're as Seema said, we're too proud. Are we too proud or are we too prejudiced? We'll have to. Are we Darcy? Are we Mr. Darcy or are we Mrs. Bennett? Ms. Bennett. We were too proud to dump out of it, so we went and just did it. But then we got to the end, we finished it. We almost left, but we clicked on the thing at the end to make sure that we actually finished it.
Right.
Don't forget to click on the console at the end before you zone out of there. But just doing that one, and I don't know if it was because of master or because their achievements are screwed up, but we did just that one, and it was enough to get us the achievement and the pet.
Yes.
If you got the pet, you got the achievement and the pet for your legacy, but the pet only shows up on one character. If you're looking for how to unlock it on other characters, there's 2 ways to do it. One, you can go to your collections and you can pay 10 credits, 10 cartel coins, I'm sorry. You can pay 10 cartel coins to unlock it. What is it, the M8? M6? I don't know. It's in there. It's in the collection. You can pay 10 cartel coins to unlock it for your legacy, but there's a way to do it for free as well. If you hit Y and you go into your achievements and you find where did we find it? A legacy, right?
Legacy and then feats.
Feats of strength. So this one over here, play to give 2018 feat of strength. Find the little item reward here under feats of strength and right click it. And if you don't already have it on this character, so here it says you already have this pet, it will just put it in your pet list and it'll grant it to you as a pet. And hopefully you saw this and hopefully you did it this weekend, because it's just a reskin of another pet, but it's actually a quite good reskin of a pet. I really like this skin on this little battle droid. So
Me too.
If you look close, he like pulses with light and he's animated, and
He's got that sort of look that the Gree armor has with the blue lights.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, right, the white and blue Gree armor, but it pulses though too, so he is quite cool. If you didn't, that's tough. It was a little bit weird, and to have it be, sort of sprung on us and only last 2 days, that in some ways that was almost a little frustrating to me. I sort of felt like I have a thing I have to do, and I only have this short time to do it, but I got it done. Hopefully you did too. And last up in the news that we're going to talk more about as we play our characters, what else is going on, Seema, in the world of Star Wars?
Well, in the world of Chicago Star Wars. So Star Wars Celebration is going to be in Chicago in April 2019.
That's right.
And we know somebody who lives in Chicago, don't we, Max?
Yeah, we know somebody who lives in Chicago, over there by the south side of Chicago there, where they're going to have that Star Wars Celebration thing. They sure are.
Wow.
We're gonna get. I'm gonna get all my pals there, and we're gonna get some sausage and some beef sandwiches and some deep dish pizza, and we're gonna pig out while we maybe watch a Bears game and see some Star Wars. I hear that Mark Hamill guy is gonna be there. I'm gonna say hi, Mark, like that one movie there. That. Okay.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. This is my Chicago guy saying it.
Wow.
Just like just like that Disaster Artist movie there.
It's like impressions upon impressions. It's Inception impressions.
A Chicago guy doing an actual Chicago native doing an impression of a Chicago accent of an impression of the Disaster Artist. Yeah.
Zen thinks you're broken.
I'm a Chicago native. I grew up in Chicago. That's how we talk there. When we're eating our sausage there on the south side. Go Bears. Go Bulls. So we'll talk a little bit more about that and what I did in relation to the tickets going on sale this week and Star Wars Celebration coming in 2019. Quick couple notes on Guild news. Great job on Conquest, everyone. Continues to be a rallying point. We went back to medium and small for this week because it's, one, we needed a break. Two, the targets were much more difficult to do on 1 million characters. So we're back to that for this week. When we switch over in the past, just for guildies, I just saw Seema jump off the edge. Seema has been defeated. Oh, really? But anyway, we're gonna do whatever the main side is for the week. We'll do either medium or large, depending on how many activities there are to do. And then we're always going to pick small on the opposite side. It was a little rough on us last week to go from medium small, which is all we've ever done before, suddenly to large medium. That was a little tough for us. But we did it. So it was fun.
Yeah, because, I mean, I did what I did for Conquest last week, but that meant I didn't do some other things.
Yes.
So, balance. Right. Balance is good too.
And then one other bit of news. I have inside information, possibly from Marcus, that we have a guildie that is going to be setting up and inventing for us some sort of big guild-wide monthly guild event starting in June. We don't know what it's going to be yet, but you can imagine we've done these kinds of things in the past. I'm sure we're going to get some good ideas. We're going to let our guildie or guildies there who want to take this on take the lead. So keep an eye out for that. I'm excited because those kinds of just fun, weird guild events can be really cool. We'll let you all know
Yes.
out there in the community what we end up doing, and you can replicate it in your guilds, or you can come join us and just join in and see it and see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. You said our conquest focus, I think, already, but what is next week?
Yeah, this week is imp side for Conquest. Next week, we're going to do MFN and Conquest on the pub side. So June 12th, MFN pub side.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. With that, hey, Kemval, I don't even remember, where did we leave off in our chapter, Kemval?
Jinasiwe ja alaize nam nadize.
Oh.
Ustapain ICJ in alam is frumadine habans.
Oh, interesting. Well, thank you.
What did he say?
Oh, you don't speak to Shad?
No.
Well, geez. They offered that was a what did Thor say about speaking Groot in Avengers? To spoiler, they offered that as an elective at the Academy or something, and on the Thor Homeworld or whatever. Anyway, yes, I speak to Shad, and he said we left off that we had to go back to Narshda and we had to check in with our cult. So that's what we're gonna do.
Luckily, we're on Narshada.
We were hanging out at the casino, grabbing some Corellian cocktails and winning a big bag of Jack Squat. I don't win anything at the casino. I don't even break even, and I could really use the money. So not breaking even is a little rough. Kemval has picked up a Chicago accent. Hey there, little Sith. I'm probably gonna eat you pretty soon there. So
Oh my god.
I like to eat up all them force users there. Get some jardiniere and some hot peppers on them there, and eat them down there on the side there while I'm watching the Bears game. Yes. Thank you,
That's incredible.
Chicago Kemval. Great. Where is our cult? There on the inside. I thought it smelled bad on the outside. So what did I do now that here we are on Tuesday, June 5th, and Star Wars Celebration tickets went on sale at noon Central? Guess what I did? I got some tickets.
You bought a ticket?
I did. I bought a handful of tickets. I bought a few tickets. I bought a ticket for me, the boy, and my 2 daughters. So I don't know if you saw my tweet when I tweeted it out, but it was a little.
I did.
It was a little Star Wars reference. What exactly did I say? I think I said, where is me? Me is Max. Go to my account. Find me. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. I said, have tickets for Star Wars Celebration 2019. Just need transport. Only passengers. Myself, the boy, 2 daughters, and no questions asked. That is a Star Wars Episode 4 reference. In a wretched hive of scum and villainy. I don't actually need transportation because I live pretty close to Chicago, and I'm just going to drive down there.
Yeah, that part confused me. I was like, wait a minute. Are you asking for like someone to Uber you to it, or
A ride downtown, or taking the train down is probably the best idea. But I've got a line on some parking down there where I can park. Where is our little? Are we in the wrong place? Building a power base.
you might be in the wrong place?
Where are you? Are you on the promenade? It's.
I came to the industrial sector.
I
where
am in the wrong place. Can you summon me? Can you Seema, can you summon me? I believe you should summon me. So yeah, I jumped on and I bought some tickets. I am also planning an AIE meetup, and at a minimum, I got a big hotel room, and I got that last week when I decided that this was going to happen. So if we've got if we do a meetup and it's, say, a dozen people or less, I've got sort of a suite-ish type room at one of the Chicago Loop hotels, which is about 2.5 miles away from the convention center. That's just the way downtown works in Chicago. There are a couple hotels down by McCormick Place, but that's down by south side of the downtown area where the museum district is on Lakefront. There's just not a lot around there, unfortunately. And that's why conventions usually don't often come to Chicago. There's a lot of trade conventions, but you don't get like the big Comic Cons, or BlizzCon doesn't come to Chicago because it's just
Because there's
set
not
up a little
enough,
bit weird.
not enough resources for all the people that it brings in.
Not a lot of like just those entertainment type resources. Not a lot of restaurants in walking distance, not a lot of variety, as opposed to you go to even like New Orleans, giant convention center, but it's right on the edge of downtown, and you can just walk right through the, whatever, Bourbon Street or whatever's down there. Anyway, if we need a place bigger than being able to do like 12-ish people, then we'll have to find some other place, which is fine too. We'll do some sort of meetup. I live out in the suburbs, so I'm like without traffic about 45 minutes away. With traffic, it's probably even quite a bit. On a bad work day for me, bad traffic, it can take me almost 2 hours if there's like an accident or something. So, but I don't know. I got a house. I can maybe have some people over. Anyways, yes. So I'm excited about it. I have never done Star Wars Celebration, so I don't actually even know all that much about it. It's like 5 days. So the main events are 4 days, and then there's like a little preview thing on Thursday. I know there's like panels and autograph signing, and I know there's a bunch of fan stuff, and there's people that dressed up as stormtroopers. But I don't know all that much about it, so we'll see. If I'm gonna look stuff up, I'm gonna study up, so I know what to expect, and I know what to do, of course. But it's in Chicago, so I sort of got to do it, right?
Yeah, you have to. And it'll be a nice attraction for, AIE people that are in the Midwest.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a good group of AIE people spread around the Midwest. Not all that many sort of in Chicago, but we've got people downstate Illinois. We've got a couple right across the border in Indiana, a little bit over into Michigan, a little bit up into Wisconsin. If you want to go like 6 hours out, then you get to like Minneapolis. We got people there. So hopefully we can get a bunch of those people in, and even if they're not going to the con, to just come in town for the for fun for the weekend or one of the days on the weekend, and hopefully we can do some meetups like that. What am I doing wrong here, Seema?
I don't know.
Are we in the right place?
I think so.
Building a power base. Visit your occult. It says you are there. Why can I not get there?
I saw you on the map. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, but I can't use the elevator. Can you use the elevator to get to high security lockdown?
Yeah. Oh no, it's grayed out.
Oh, there's another elevator downstairs. We gotta go back. That's weird. Why would it light us up to take us up here? So anyone, maybe I'll explain it a little bit more. While we're driving around randomly all over our Nar Shaddaa to find this stupid cult, I'm gonna force choke a fool when I get there. So someone said they never left the airport in Chicago. The best Philly cheesesteak you ever had was in the Chicago airport? What, in Terminal 1? There's a little food court in Concourse C of Terminal 1. O'Hare's a great airport. Maybe I'm biased because I'm just really comfortable with it. I fly out of there for work all the time. But of all the airports that I've been to, Denver's really good. I think Chicago's quite good, even though it's huge. You know, it's one of the biggest ones. Denver's probably bigger, just in terms of square footage. But the number of flights, Chicago's still one of the top airports in the world. We go this way. But the airport is also an hour outside of downtown, outside the city. So if you come into O'Hare, you're going to have to get transportation downtown. You can take the L, you can take some public transportation and get yourself downtown. The weird thing is going to be, as I said, if you do not have one of the hotels where they're having Star Wars Celebration, which as of now I think are all sold out. We're talking to a couple guildies that have done this before. What you can do is, where is this taking us? I think we got to go back to the taxi. I think we're in the wrong place. I'm just going to quick travel back to the upper industrial sector and start over. So you're going to need to get downtown. You're going to need to find a way to get there. And as I said, if you're not at the McCormick Place Hotel, you're going to need to expect, or if you actually want to go to any of the cool restaurants, or go check out Wrigley Field and that kind of stuff, you're going to need to be ready to Uber or be ready to navigate the public transportation, which isn't super simple, but not terrible in Chicago. There's plenty of it. The L goes all over the place. The L is short for the Elevated, which is sort of the cross between elevated tracks and subway that networks Chicago. The Loop, when people say the Loop in Chicago, that's the downtown Chicago district, and it's actually called that because the L tracks, the elevated public transportation tracks, make a loop around the main downtown business district of downtown Chicago. Anyways, oh no, it is here on the promenade. Why did it take us all the way there? A lot of the good restaurants are north side of Chicago. So it's like a 15-minute Uber ride up north when you're getting out towards where like Gino, the original Gino's East is, and the downtown.
The original what?
Gino's East Pizzeria or Pizzeria Uno. Some of the old school Chicago pizza places, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's up north. Up by the Hancock, like where the Hancock is.
My lord, you've returned to us.
Oh. Cultist 3.
The great dragon. We'll tell Masters Riley and Destris you're here. We hope you'll be proud of the work we've done.
Yes,
my lord. We practically own the streets.
That guy's an idiot. That was Cultists 1, 2, and 3. Very creatively named.
Good to see you again.
Hey, Riley.
Hope you like what we've done with the place. What can old Riley and Destris do for you?
Old Riley and Destris? What did I need from these guys? Didn't I need something? I need a sensor chip. Do I? I don't know.
I understand you've been busy since I saw you last. I'm interested in the CN12.
That's right.
CN12, huh? Funny you should
Oh,
mention it.
I remember
We wanted to build
this.
your cult up into something big, see? And we picked the CN12 to do it.
It's a real crazy technology, and it just happens some of the members worked on an early prototype called the Death Mark.
We saw an opening, and there you have it. It was all dandy until a mucker called the Veil got involved. He's blasted our supply chain to pieces, and he controls the CN12 market now.
We're here to pick up the CN12 chip, which is a piece of technology which we want to give to. He's dead. I'm gonna kill this guy.
With my cult.
Well, maybe you can teach him a lesson.
We need
We're
this to
sorry,
talk
love.
to the Moff,
It's
who's
not easy to get at.
who's trying to
Holds up
team
the
up with
chef.
us to help us fight against
He made it clear he only wants to meet
Darth,
with the
what's his name?
boss. We didn't think that was really an option.
next time call. No. Call me. No, how stupid of him. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him.
And here you had me thinking the Veil was smart. He'll die either way.
That's what I like about you, my lord. When you get an idea, you don't mess around.
Shut up, Destris.
Good luck.
Okay. If you, oh, spoiler. If you don't kill Darth Palladius before, then you get a different scene here. Oh, okay, interesting. But because this is my dark side choice character, I did kill Palladius, apparently. So yeah, just be prepared to need to Uber around a little bit around Chicago. To get to the interesting places away from McCormick
Like the Bears
Place.
game.
Actually, ironically, the Bears game is probably, well, there won't be a Bears game because it's April. But Soldier Field is like the closest thing to McCormick Place. so if there was a Bears game, that actually would be relatively close. What's also relatively close, if you're into this kind of thing, which I am, is the museum campus. So this is the Shed Aquarium, the Field Museum, and the so it's just the Shed Aquarium and the Field Museum down there, and then about a mile north is the Art Institute. Mile and a half north is Chicago Art Institute. Those are, oh, and the planetarium, Adler Planetarium. So those three are down there, pretty close to McCormick Place. The Field Museum, the Shed Aquarium, and the Adler Planetarium. That aquarium, the Shed Aquarium, is one of the best in the world. Their mammals exhibit, beluga whales, and the dolphins is one of the best mammal habitats in the world. If you're into that kind of thing, it's definitely worth checking out. Field Museum, one of the best natural history museums in the world. The T-Rex, full skeletons, lots of that kind of stuff. Lots of Egyptian artifacts, really cool stuff. And the planetarium's pretty cool. It used to be really awesome back in the day, but in this day of digital simulation and immersive technology and artificial realities, you can have some really good experiences in simulated sky. They didn't actually capture any stars and show it on premise. They do have pieces of moon rock, so you can see that, but it's still cool. The Chicago Art Institute is a very good art institute as well. A very good art museum. I would recommend that highly. It's both a world-class art exhibiting museum and a teaching institute. So it's very, very interesting from both of those perspectives. And it's been expanded over the years. So there's the new modern art wing is pretty interesting and pretty cool. They got some Andy Warhols in there, that kind of stuff. Are you here, Seema? Where did you go? Did I lose you?
I was waiting for you to land so I could tell where you went.
Oh, sorry. Do you see me? I'm in the Duro sector at the Vales Safe House.
Yes, I see you.
Zen asks, do I work for the Chicago Tourism Board? No, but mention my name when you purchase tickets to the Chicago Museum campus and get a 15% discount. Ironically, because if you do mention my name, it'll be 15% on, so you may actually not want to do that. Other Chicago, I don't know.
Oh, you're a friend of Max? Oh, it's more for you.
Oh, geez, another one of you? Oh, geez. Oh, cripes. With these guys here, Max's friends here, the more of these guys coming in here, charge them extra. They're gonna mess up the place. I could do this all day.
Apparently, I could listen to it all day.
Other things I would recommend: Chicago Architectural Tours, Edwin Meese, Frank Lloyd Wright. A lot of impact. Their fingerprints are all over Chicago architecture. The Chicago River, you can take a riverboat architectural tour of Chicago on the river, and it's amazing. Again, I'm not the tourism board, but Chicago's a really cool city. People people think of San Francisco and New York and LA is not really that great a city to visit. I mean, there's interesting things around LA, but it's not like San Francisco or New York or New Orleans.
Or Chicago.
All right, so now we're down here. We're gonna pity a I pity the fool that gets in my way of my cult. All right, here comes somebody. Oh, he's like a roided out cyborg or a teched out cyborg.
I'm here as requested. Which one of you is the Veil?
I am the Veil.
No, I am the Veil.
I'm Spartacus.
No, it is me. I am the Veil.
Just kill them all.
Yeah, kill them all.
Actually, none
Lightning.
of us are the Veil.
Because all of us are the Veil.
Still, we are all very glad to make your acquaintance, Cult Master.
You have something I need.
What will it take to convince you to give me the CN-12?
How about
Your cult.
The streets of Nar Shaddaa only have room
That guy's
for
got a good
one
voice.
true voice.
Give us control of your cult, and we will give you the CN-12.
It's hard to understand them. Shoot lightning. the Sork solution to everything. You really want to die.
One at a time until one of you agrees to give me the CN-12.
Hear us out.
The lowlifes that run your cult are brutal enough, but they lack vision.
Why settle for a cult when you can have an empire? Our
This is actually getting
resources
interesting.
extend beyond the CN-12. Armies need weapons. Ships need engines. What does your cult provide you now? Donations? Artifacts?
We offer that and more. Our reach extends across the galaxy.
This is actually
Simply
sort of
send a
compelling.
signal from one of these
I mean, I
devices,
trust them.
and our servants will come to your
Well,
aid anywhere in the galaxy, not just on Nar Shaddaa.
I'd rather kill you, agreed, or force persuade. And this is not a light dark starred choice. So I'm going to force persuade before I kill him.
Give me the CN-12, and you will serve me.
We will give you the CN-12.
We will serve you.
Well, there we go.
Let us join your cult.
Aha. Excellent suggestion.
I wish I had thought of it myself.
Thank you, my lord. Here is the CN-12. We assure you, you will not regret this.
More useful tools.
Well, that was easy.
A little force persuade. Now what am I doing? I'm just standing around. Return to your cult. Ugh. I'm going to quick travel back to the promenade. I'm going to promenade left.
I almost never pick the force persuade option because one time early on it like didn't work, and so I always think, yeah, they're just gonna go, no, you can't force me.
Silly Jedi.
Yes.
Someone said I like New York. I do. I like to visit New York in short bursts. I have a couple problems with New York, especially lately. New York has amazing theater. New York has amazing restaurants and food. What bothers me about New York, and I don't know, cannot figure out how they haven't solved this, is the garbage. So there's no alleys in New York, right? So this is an age-old problem for New York. There's no alleys, so they got to take all their bags of garbage every night. Every restaurant, they pile them up on the sidewalk, and it's just piles and piles of garbage everywhere on every street in New York. It's crazy. Such a, it could be such a cool city, and it's just full of garbage. Ah, poor New York. Central Park is awesome, really, really cool in the middle of Manhattan. You got the bridges. All right, we're back to our cult here. Do I get to force choke anybody? Getting a little
My lord, how did the meeting with
itchy
the Veil go?
Maybe
lightning
this guy.
fingers. Destress. Well enough.
I got what I wanted. No thanks to you.
Ooh, I'm a little bit
Sorry we
angry.
couldn't be more help. I'm just amazed you got a meeting in the first place. Stick around as long as you like. The members are happy to have you here.
Stay as long as you like, my lord. We are always happy to have you among us.
Worms. I'm done with you. Now I get to go back to my ship's terminal. So I'm gonna quick travel directly to my ship. No, let's go to the spaceport. See if you can get on my ship.
Okay.
Go to the spaceport. Last time someone was in New York, the chat room says there was someone who threw a washing machine out a second-story window at 3 a.m. What else are the rats supposed to eat if you don't put garbage on the sidewalk? They do have some pretty epic rats in New York. I do not see rats in Chicago. I'm sure there are rats in Chicago, but I do not see rats in Chicago lately. Chicago has alleys. That's where the rats hang out, but you don't have to go in the alleys. That's where all the garbage is, and that's where all the dumpsters are. But it's as having that kind of infrastructure and an alleyway, you know, it makes it so all of that stuff is where it belongs. It's out of sight.
I mean, everything I know about New York is from TV shows, and so like in Law and Order, someone's always getting killed in an alley, and I never thought that it was a city without alleys.
It's like I think it's more like a back street or a side street. It's not really like.
Yeah, I guess so. And then, yeah.
Is this the right?
Wait, this is not right.
Is this not the right elevator? Is this the right elevator? Which is a? Damn it! This one is. Sith Inquisitor hangar. Okay, I'll let you on my ship, Seema, but no touching my stuff.
I'm gonna steal your droid.
You can have the droid. Just,
so he can make my ship smell like Eldoranian nectar.
Yeah. I painted it another coat of paint. Same color, only fresher. This is one of the best ships in the game. Not as good as the Imperial Agent ship, but this is a pretty good ship. Move the furniture around and don't put it back. So when I wake up in the middle of the night to go pee,
you'll stub your toe.
Stub my toe. And then I'll shoot lightning at it because I'm so frustrated.
At your toe?
Now, sorcerer, use your words. No, shoot lightning. All right, let's talk to this. So on this holo terminal, now we're going to call back to the Moff that was connecting up with us, and that's why we went and got this ship. So let's hear what he has to say, and we can
the one
wrap it up
that's
here for
gonna
tonight.
team up with us if we do well enough on our Shada.
Right, and back us up in our fight against Darth Thanaton. Is that who we're fighting at this point? One of the Darths.
Yes. Yes.
Thanaton. All right, let's hear what he has to say. Moff Pyron.
I promised you my respect and support, but you have also gained my admiration. I trust you've heard the bad news. Darth Thanaton's superior on the Dark Council died mysteriously. Darth Thanaton has succeeded him.
So Darth Thanaton is now on the Dark Council. Interesting.
His insistence on killing me has made one thing clear. Turning back is not an option.
I admire your determination, but I don't know how the other Moffs will feel about opposing one of the galaxy's 12 most powerful Sith. Now, more than ever, the silencer must be completed, and you must.
The silencer must be completed.
Must see the true
so this is the weapon that where this
Empire.
The C2 and 2 thing was supposed to be for. The Moffs must see the true future of the Sith Empire completed. They will see eventually. Why do you care?
What's your investment in this again?
If it weren't for Sith tradition, we would have crushed the Republic when we had the chance. Thanaton is old blood.
Yes.
I will contact you when the weapon is ready for demonstration. Good luck, my lord.
Demonstration. Okay. So he will contact us at some later point, apparently. Oh, here I am.
My lord, the Belsavis machine. It's made you better, but it wasn't enough to drive the voices from your head, was it?
Oh, Ashara. Why do you ask?
Do you have a solution?
Zash is indisposed at the moment, but we still have the writings of Darth Vilus. We should go to Voss. Your body is cured.
Oh, here we go. So
Master
here it goes,
Ryan
takes
always
us to the
said
next planet.
A Jedi's mind must be whole. It's the same for a Sith. You can't face Thanaton until you can control the dead you've bound.
Oh, Ashara. Are you dark side yet? Does she actually turn dark? Okay, so now we go to Voss. Cool. So we will finish up for
Sweet.
tonight here, but now our next step is Adventures on Voss, which I like. I like Voss. Voss is a cool planet. So to sum it up, I have tickets to Star Wars Celebration. I'm happy to talk more in the future. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter or in Discord and ask questions if you are going to be coming in town. And as it gets closer, maybe like as it gets to 2019, maybe in the next winter or spring, early spring, we'll talk about when we're gonna and how we'll do an AI meetup as part of that. So looking forward to it. Grab some tickets. They'll probably sell out, not right away, but they'll probably sell out earlier than they did last year, which was 4 months before Star Wars Celebration last year. The year before that, they didn't really sell out until the week before. So each week or each year, it's getting sooner and sooner.
Yeah, I would say if you think you're going to go, don't wait.
Yep. Yeah, I would not at this point. And with that, I think we can take our EPC 245 droid here, load him up with a map of Chicago, and kick him out an airlock to broadcast this Chicago-focused episode of the Escape Podcast to all of you out there. So please keep up with us.
Max, your ship doesn't work. I tried to drive it to Voss, and it's not working.
Oh, criminy. Don't step away from the... Andronikos, aren't you watching things here? He doesn't care. Look at him just lounging over there on the wall.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't
take anything seriously.
Here I am. I'm lounging just like him. All right. Please keep up with us on Twitter, @MaxTheGray and @AIESEMA. Please tell your friends and have them tell 2 friends and have them tell 2 friends and so on about the Star Wars Escape Podcast, the SWTOR Escape Podcast. What is our podcast? Come find us on Starforge. Check out AIE-guild.org. Come check out our channel on twitch.tv/New Overlords, and come check us out on YouTube and subscribe there on YouTube, New Overlords. And definitely come join in Guild and in Discord or on Starforge and catch up with us, and we'll get you a Guild invite because we want to play with more of the cool people out there, which if you're listening to this means you. So with that,
that's really cool.
We will talk to you later.
Later, everyone.